Good evening everyone, I'm on my own again tonight, another solo beach wild camp. This time I'm on the Suffolk coast. I'm at a little place called Kessingland on the Suffolk coast path. Came here a long time ago, as I say, when I did the coast path on my own, and I didn't stop at this point, so I thought it'd be quite good to return here. I'm doing a little walk from the Suffolk Pub Walks book. The walk is number 1 in the book, and it's only 3 miles, so it's just a little short walk. You might just be able to make out the map there. Little circular walk. We're going to want OS Explorer 231, South Walden Bungay, Halesworth and Kessingland. We'll be doing the walk in the morning. It is about midnight. I've had quite a busy day today. Been doing a walk in Cambridgeshire with Candice. She's been spending Christmas with me, and I wanted to head out as it's a Friday night and do a little solo wild camp. And I wanted to do one up here at Kessingland. So it's been about a 2-hour drive. I started from Candices in like South Essex at about 9 o'clock, and I got here just after 11. So it's quite tiring. So I'm not going to be doing a hell of a lot tonight. I'll sort of do more in the morning. For ciders, I've got a Recorder Lig Premium Botanicals cider. This one's a rhubarb, lemon and mint cider. I believe I've reviewed this before on the channel, so I won't bother tonight. It's 4%, very nice cider, very smooth, clean, it's tasty. I feel like I've earned that after that drive. And then I've also got something a little bit different. It's a beer, and this is a Florida Weiss, something like that. 4.5% by Thornbridge, and it's a hazy raspberry sour. So that sounds quite good, sounds a bit different. Old Faithful, the Radbridge Raider Hoot Bivvy. We're not forecast any rain tonight. It's actually going to be quite a mild night, so might get a little bit chilly, but once you're inside that bivvy, it's pretty toasty. I've got some new equipment to show you. If I just switch the head torch on to find it. This is one of the new things. It's an OEX Bush Pro Bivvy. Still got the tags on it. I bought it yesterday. I'll probably just slip like my sleeping bag inside that and inside the Hoot Bivvy. I know you don't really need it, but adds that little extra bit of warmth if it does get really cold, and plus I just wanted to use it. I've bought the OEX Bush Pro tarp as well to go with it. Of course I'm not going to be using that on a beach. Tarps on a beach are a bit of a nightmare, so I either go with like the Hoot Bivvy or a tent, you know, like the Helm 1 or the Helvellyn, something bomb proof in case the wind picks up, stuff like that really. And you can anchor it into the sand a bit better as well, whereas a tarp I find is a bit of a ball ache really. So we're going to be using that. Got a new stove as well. It's like a little Esbit cook stove with like its own built-in windshield. I'm not going to do a hell of a lot of cooking tonight. Maybe just boil up some water for a hot chocolate really, because it's so late. By the time I've actually finished setting up and sort of sit down to eat, it's going to be really late. So just a couple of alcoholic beverages, a hot drink, maybe a cold snack, and then I'll go to sleep and I'll cook breakfast in the morning. So I'm looking forward to the stove. I've wanted one for a while, got it cheap on eBay. I thought, why not? Well, I've finished setting everything up now. It's probably getting on to like 1 AM. So I'm just having some army cheese and crackers from a ration pack, and then in my little folding cup I got the idea for one of those from Simon a Bloke in the Woods. Just got a Thai food tea in there, the recorder leg cider. Tasty little cider that. So the stove, the new stove I bought, I've got the windshield round it. I probably don't really need it, but I thought why not, belt and breeches. This stove is one of those little Esbit solid fuel stoves, but this one's sort of got a built-in windshield and like a plate, you know, to sort of put your Esbit tablet on. Probably need a couple really, and some tinder to sort of get it lit, especially mine. I bought a big box of them, like a few packs of them cheap on eBay, and I can see why they were cheap, because I think they're water damaged, they're waterlogged tablets. When you try and light them, of course, they just explode, all the moisture sort of shoots out and ends up putting them out, so it takes quite a lot to get them lit and keep them lit. But they're working at the moment. I had to basically set fire to a pack of matches. So yeah, built-in windscreen, sort of, it's got air holes, and it's got a little sort of loading door there where you can pop stuff in through there, and it's got little feet that it stands on as well. I've put some tin foil down just to make sure. That goes on top. The pot probably fits about half a litre of water in at a push, and it's got these like rubberized handles. Also the pot lid's got, you know, rubberized little handle. I think it's titanium. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's titanium. And it comes in a little get it to focus. Comes in a little cute Esbit bag, and like the inner mug also has a little Esbit bag as well, so it all goes in sort of two bags all together like that. So you can put all your cubes, your fire lighting materials, some teas, coffees, hot chocolates, whatever, all in there as well. It's a self-contained stove basically. Yeah, it's not bad. Can't remember how much they normally go for. I mean, I was sort of seeing them for about, cheapest was 25 quid. I got this one for about something like 18 quid, and they said it had been used, but to be honest with you, judging by the quality of the titanium stuff, there's no marks on it or anything. I'd say it's brand new. So I've got a brand new stove for, I don't know, probably a third off the price maybe. I know it's cheaper than if you buy it brand new anyway, so yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Another little bargain from eBay. It's the best place to go in my opinion. Hey, it's not too cold out here. I mean, I have got all my softies on and down jacket, but not really feeling the cold. If anything, I'm probably a bit warm. So it's quite a mild night. I've picked a good night, and as far as I'm aware, the weather's going to behave itself. So this is home for the night. As you can see, I am sort of tucked behind this marram grass, so it's sort of blocked on that side, all across that side, which is really where the wind's coming from, and then there's even like a little bit in front of the door, and then my cooking area is just there. Got Tyvek and a silver ground sheet underneath. Now I know what you're going to say, they're not tucked under, so if it does rain, the water could pool up underneath, get underneath the bivvy and soak through the floor. Well, I've checked the weather forecast, we're not forecast any rain. I'll check it again. If it does change and we're going to have rain, I can just tuck that under and it should be fine. But I've recently reproofed the bivvy bag, and you have to run like an iron over it just to sort of just keeping improving its like breathability, the E-vent material. It's like a form of Gore-Tex, and you just have to do that every now and then with these hooped bivvies just to keep them breathable. But I've never had any condensation issues with it. If I do get any condensation, it's usually because it needs cleaning or reproofing, or as I say, like re-ironing, just to reactivate the breathability on it. But other than that, it just works like a charm. It's absolutely brilliant. Got the rucksack down at the foot end, so it just lifts the foot end up, the foot box up, and then I've just got other stuff that I need to get to near the door of the bivvy. And of course it's got a storm door, and it's got a no-seer mesh bug net door as well. Glow-in-the-dark zippers, reflective guy lines. You've got 2 of those for strong winds. I always just peg them out anyway, just to give the bivvy some extra shape. And I would say, because this is the newer model, I would say you could fit someone at least 6 foot in that. I'm 5'10", and if I have my feet right down the end, I've got loads of space up the head end. It's absolutely brilliant. I can really hunker down in that. If the weather's bad, I can just get right down the bottom, and it just feels so snug and just warm and cosy in there and safe. So the stove worked really well. I eventually sort of got the tablets lit and just had to, put loads of matches on them, and they eventually sort of started drying out, and then you can cook with them. And it actually boiled the water pretty quick. It's a very small pot, so you couldn't do a hell of a lot with it, but you can do just enough. It serves my needs anyway. I'm going to keep that and the windshield outside the bivvy in my rubbish bag, these big plastic bags that I've bought, and some water as well. I'll just keep that wrapped up in there, just tucked down the side of the bivvy there, so it's ready to go first thing in the morning. And then everything else that you see, I'll bring that inside the bivvy with me. It's gone 1 AM. I've had a cider. I'm on my hot chocolate now, which is just underneath that little towel thing. Who knows, I might even have that beer tomorrow morning for breakfast. I'll have it with breakfast. Hair of the dog, why not? So take you down to the sea. So it's sort of sand and shingle and pebbles. There's this little shelf here, so this is, I reckon, as high as the tide comes up. If it does. And I'm literally just over there. So I think I'm far enough back. We go down the shelf. Oh. Yeah, you can see it there, it's not that high. I've missed doing these solo camps. They're so peaceful, so nice and relaxing, because I'm not on anybody else's watch. I'm on my own time. I can just sort of do things as and when I please. I love it. It's good. Need to do more of these in 2020, definitely. And here we are. Here's the waves. And that's about as close as I'm going to get. There we go. I mean, this spot here will be actually really good for a tent. I left the tent in the car as well, the Helm one, and it just fit perfectly in that little gap there. Really good. All the Helvellyn, Van Gogh Helvellyn 2-person tent, or luxurious 1-person tent. Yeah, it worked great there. And I could just sit in the tent in the morning, just look out at the waves. It's all good anyway. Well, I'll see you next in the bivvy. It's probably coming up to about 1:30 now. Instant temperature change in here. Really warm, so I took my down jacket off. I took my walking trousers off. Kept my thermal leggings and shorts on. Put my Arctic socks on instead of my waterproof walking socks. Put the softies trousers on. Got a new thermal base layer. T-shirt, this, and yeah, I'm pretty warm like this. I don't really want to be overly warm. I just want to be just right in here. And of course, this is quite difficult to. Well, you can't really get changed in here. I mean, I think I have actually sort of got changed in here once. I don't know why, but yeah, it's easiest thing to do is just have a little sit mat and stand on that and get changed. On that, and then just get in the bivvy and you're sorted really. So I'm probably I've got the door sort of half done up, like the storm door, and then I've just got the mesh net door done all the way up, so it just lets some air in and stuff, and it still retains its warmth in here. It's really good. You can zip the storm door all the way up if you want, like if it was raining I probably would, but other than that, really, it's perfect like this. I might even open the storm door a little bit more actually, so we'll see how things go. Anyway, so I'm aiming to get up for probably around 7:30, and we'll see how it goes from there really. So I will see you in the morning. Good night everyone. Good morning everyone. It's about 8:30. Didn't have a sunrise. It's been very cloudy, very gloomy, and it's really since sort of first light it's not got much brighter than this really. Just done myself a tea. Oh, and I needed that. And I got some plain army muesli, like natural muesli, and I've just added like berries, nuts and bits of chocolate and yogurt coated raisins, all that good stuff to it as well, just because I find it really bland and inedible. So with that it's quite nice. Weather has been fine. It wasn't windy last night, there was no rain, it was actually really calm, and it wasn't even that cold. In fact, I was absolutely sweating in what at one point I thought I'm going to have to take the softy trousers off. I was so warm in that bivvy, the warmest I've been in it for a long time. It was really nice weather last night, and even this morning, I mean, it's only a little bit chilly sort of first thing as soon as you wake up, but once you're up and you're moving about and you've had something warm to drink and eat, it's actually really mild. It's so mild for this time of year. Yeah, there's the bivvy, and then pan you round and turn you up. There we go. So that way is north, and you can actually see Lowestoft in the distance. That's not that far away at all really. Kessingland is kind of like the next major town, you could say, on the Suffolk coast path from Lowestoft, and of course that's where I finished the Norfolk coast path. What was it? This summer. It was earlier this summer. Yeah. You can even see Gulliver, the huge wind turbine, which sort of marks Britain's most easterly point. This is a really, really nice beach, and it's really good for getting a little camping, definitely. You know, it's a nice wide beach. There's sort of plenty of little places where you can tuck yourself away. People literally have to be like on top of you to see that you're camping here, and even then I don't really think they care that much. You know, as long as you're not setting fire to stuff and making a lot of noise and leaving rubbish. You know, the usual thing with wild camping, they don't care. You know, people don't seem to mind people wild camping on beaches, and sometimes they usually just think you're sea fishing as well, without rods. I'm going to get breakfast in me and then start packing up, and we'll head off that way up the beach, and we'll crack on with this little 3-mile walks. Nothing too strenuous. Anyways, I'll chat to you in a bit. As I'm packing away, I thought I'd show you this little cook set, that Esbit cook set. So there's it for scale. So it's a very compact little stove. It's got 2 of these mesh bags, and it worked really well in the end. If I had like Esbit cubes that weren't waterlogged, it would be brilliant. You just need some tinder just to sort of help the Esbit tablets catch, and then boom, you're done. And you don't have to use Esbit, you can use any solid fuel really. So the lid's really good. It's got like sort of a slight magnetised quality to it. I found it sort of stayed on easy, I don't know. So that's your lid. That's the part where you put the fuel in, and then you've got your pot. Get it out of the stuff sack. So I've christened it. It's dirty now. It's got those anodised handles, so they don't get hot. So you can just pick it up. You don't need gloves. And you're probably just about going to be able to see it there. You've got the measurements inside the mug, which is useful. So about 400ml or 16 ounces of water you can fit in that. You could at a real push it to about 500, but if it boils it's going to boil over, you know, and put your stove out or something. So that's the pot. Everything nestles inside that. The inner one is where the actual stove itself is. You can fit everything you need in there. So I've just got a little towel thing cleaning up with, stormproof lighter, a normal lighter, some stormproof matches, some normal matches, and then I've got about, inside I'm not going to get them all out, I've got 3, 7, I've got 8 cubes in there, and I find 2 will give you a good rolling boil. That's the waterlogged cubes though. Probably cubes that are perfect, you could probably boil that amount of water with 1 in optimal conditions. Yeah, so it's a nice compact little stove really, and I quite like it. I've seen them online. I think I've seen one other YouTuber using them, and I quite like the look of them, and I like solid fuel really. A lot of people say it's horrible, it stinks. I love the smell of it. There's something simple about it that I really like. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the convenience of gas. You can just cook so quickly with gas. Meths, I've really got into meths as well lately, like alcohol stoves. Never used to, I used to shun them, and now I think they're brilliant. You know, the Trangia is such a good little set really. I'm not fussed really, I'm not picky with my stoves. And yeah, and solid fuel I still think it's got its uses. There's nothing that can really go wrong with it. unless your tablets get waterlogged. But I don't know, it's something I like about it anyway. And yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's all titanium as well. And that OEX Bivvy bag, the Bush Pro Bivvy, now I know I didn't really use it in its true environment, I used it inside a hooped bivvy, but my sleeping bag inside the Bush Pro was absolutely fine. It wasn't damp at all, so I think the bivvy's pretty breathable. I mean, I had sort of the top open all night. I just used it really just to sort of as an extra layer. And it's great. It's very thin, but apparently it's waterproof and it's breathable. Reminds me a little bit of the Rab Survival Zone bivvy, and it's slightly thinner than an Outkit Hunker bivvy, I would say, but it's got the same sort of inner material, and it's just really good. I really like it. It's a nice simple bivvy. I'm going to get rid of my British Army Gore-Tex bivvy because I just don't need it really. It's too thick and bulky. I keep it in the car anyway for emergencies, so that means I've now got an Outkit Hunker bivvy, a Rab Survival Zone bivvy, an OEX Bush Pro bivvy, and then I've got my Rab Ridge Raider hooped bivvy. I think that's enough bivvies now. I have got a shelter fetish, there's no doubt about it. I just like variety, I like different things. I'm sure you probably like to see variety on people's channels as well. You get bored of seeing them using the same shelter, and I'm from the same school of thought really. I kind of like to see different things being used from time to time. Not just for myself making videos, but I think of like you guys as well. I think you don't want to see the Helm one all the time. You don't want to see the Rab Ridge Raider all the time. You want to see some different things. So I try and do that where possible. You know, like I don't always use a tarp and a bivvy. I want to start doing more of that. I know you love tarps and bivvies, so I'm going to do a few more in 2020, definitely. Now I've got the Bush Pro tarp and bivvy, we're definitely going to have to test it out a few times and see what it's like. But when it comes to things like this on the coast and that, it's like hooped bivvy or a tent for me all the way. You try and put a tarp up on shingle or sand, and it's just not going to, the guy points are just not going to be strong enough to keep its shape, I find, and it's just going to get battered about in the wind, so I don't bother really. I just go with the simple method. I mean, if the weather's really nice, you could just go cowboy camping and just take a normal bivvy, but I think why not have this extra shelter just to sort of get out of, you know, the elements if the weather does turn on the beach, because it's so open and exposed, and you've always got like a chill and a breeze coming off of the sea. I wouldn't change it though. I love coastal camping. I absolutely love it. Woodland, I know everyone seems to like woods, but for me they're just a bit samey and a bit boring at times. If you're doing bushcraft, I can understand it, woods are the place to go, but I'm not into that. So for me, we're an island nation, that's why I like the coast, because you're never that far from a coastline, and there's just something about it. I think where I've grown up inland, not surrounded by water, I'm naturally drawn to water, I think. Like the sea, rivers, stuff like that, there's no doubt about it. I'm drawn to that, and I feel a sense of adventure more being by the sea or on a river estuary than I do in a woodland and stuff. To me that's normal, I grew up around that stuff. So yeah, that's my reasons anyway. I'm going to stop waffling, apologies, whenever I do these solo ones I always talk too much. I think it's just for something to do. Anyways, we're going to carry on getting packed up, and I'll chat to you in a bit. Well, it's coming up to about 10 AM. I'm all packed up, got all the rubbish in the rucksack which I'm leaning against. It's quite comfy this actually, I'm not going to lie. It's like winter and I'm sort of like just lounging around on the beach like I think it's summer. I've been reading. Yeah, a lot of dogs barking at me and stuff. It's funny, but one owner justified the dog barking at me and running over to me by saying she's just not used to seeing people here. I'm like, it's a beach, it's a public beach, you're gonna get people here. Basically, what you're saying is your dog's unruly and you can't be bothered to train it and discipline it. So it's almost like saying you shouldn't be here and then my dog won't bark. I don't get that logic. I mean, I used to own a dog, I love dogs, but some dog owners, really irritating and just stupid, the things they come out with. Anyway, so yeah, it's 10 in the morning and I thought, why not, hair of the dog, let's try that Florida Vice out. I don't know what it's called, but there we go. So it's a hazy raspberry sour, 4.5% by Thornbridge. They've been making them since 2005, so it's not very old. Florida Vice is our hazy and refreshing fruit sour that is bracingly tart. It pours with a pinkish hue and is absolutely brimming with the flavour of fresh raspberries. I thought for someone that doesn't like the bitterness of beer, that could be quite interesting. And it goes well with dark chocolate apparently. Brewed and canned by Thornbridge Riverside Brewery. They're from Bakewell. Inspired by the Peak District, there you go. So if you like the Peak District, it's probably the one for you then, this. Anyway, right, let's crack it open. Cheers everyone. Oh, that has got a pink look to it. Ooh, that smells quite nice. Do you know, that's not bad actually. It is a little bit sour, but the strong raspberry taste balances out the bitterness of the beer, definitely. I mean, there's still that beer element, is faint, it's in the background. But that is nice. Let me take a big gulp and see what it's like. It's refreshing. I like that. I'm going to give that one. It's not quite as good as a Brewdog Quench Quake, but it's not far off it. I'm going to give that. I'm going to give it a 7.6 out of 10. That's really nice. I'm liking that. My face looks like I'm not enjoying it, but I think it's just because it's 10 AM and I'm drinking a beer and I'm not used to that. So I better not let anyone see me drinking this, because I actually look like a pisshead now on a beach, just sort of sat hidden behind the marram grass, just drinking a beer at 10 AM, and I look homeless. It's not a good look. Cheers everyone. Yep, so just to clarify, leaving no trace. I'm taking me beer with me, beer to go. And we're going to head off along the beach that way, and then we've got to head back inland and up the cliffs, and then we'll be coming back around back to the beach car park, which is somewhere over there. Anyways, enough talking, let's get walking. about 11:30 now, so I've been walking for just under an hour, and it's been a varied little walk this. It may only be 3 miles, but we've had beach and sand dunes, we've got some fields at the moment, we've just gone through a woodland section. It's been varied, it's been nice, I've enjoyed it, and there's a few nice little walks in this book. I'm not being endorsed to try and sell this book or anything, by the way. I'm literally just trying to suggest it, you know, because I think it's so good, as are all these little walking books. You can pick them up really cheap. This one was £5.99. There's 15 circular walks. The longest one is 5 miles. There's a couple of 5-milers, so they're not particularly difficult. So they just encourage anyone to sort of get out there and walk, and even wild camp if you want. I've shown that you can do that with these books. There are little places along the routes where, you know, you could pitch a bivvy or a tent or a tarp and make a little micro adventure out of it, rather than just a day walk. They may only be, you know, a few miles, but they pack a lot in to those miles. So there's always plenty to see, stuff of historical interest. There's always pubs, of course, if it's from the pub walks books. I really like them, they're good. I do want to start doing more long distance routes though, so I'm going to probably put these on the back burner for a little bit next year. 2020 that'll be, it's 2019 at the moment. Probably by the time this video comes out it'll probably be New Year anyway, so happy New Year anyway. She needs to put her dog on a lead, quite an aggressive dog. I'm not particularly bothered by dogs barking at me and stuff, but other people might be. You've got to control your dogs, people, discipline them. If they don't get along with other humans and other dogs, keep it on a lead. Sorry, just had to say that. Anyway, here we are. Right, we're heading down here. Okay, well, I've arrived at what obviously used to be the King's Head and what obviously used to be the Queen's Head, because it is shut down and it looks like they're renovating it and turning it into a house. So it's a good thing I didn't start from here. So that's not the first time that's happened to me on some of these pub walks, where you turn up to the pub that you're meant to be starting the walk from and it's no longer a pub. So the King's Head has now become the Queen's Head, and that's now become a part of Kessingland history. The route I want is actually up here at Church Road, but I saw the sign for the Queen's Head and I thought, well, I've got to check this out, because I'm convinced it's called the King's Head. So heading down Church Road, and then we're nearly back at the beach car park where I started the walk from. I'm glad I did. And here we are, we've arrived at the beach car park, and my car is just there. Well, that is the end of this video. I'm back at the car. It's been a really good little walk. Just want to give a shout out to Bad Hair Adventures, James, Mary and Bella, and say big thank you for designing this t-shirt for me. Enough talking. You know the slogan. They also very kindly designed Candice, one that says the very lovely in pink. So we're both really happy with them. So yeah, cheers, thank you very much. I think Mary's like a graphic designer by trade, so you never know, if you want something designing for business or something like that, business cards or whatever, could be worth giving her a shout. Just putting my shoes on. Could be worth, you know, sort of commenting and asking and maybe going from there, I don't know, but yeah, anyway, so thank you very much. You know, I'm not really into doing merchandise and stuff, so I'm probably never gonna actually do this as like a t-shirt for sale, but it would be pretty cool though, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, having your own slogan, something that you started saying as a joke, end up on a t-shirt and people end up saying, is really cool. So yeah, thank you for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Get in the comments as always, let us know what you think. Until next time everyone, stay safe, look after each other, be nice to one another. Remember, get out there and explore, because life is far too short. Cheers, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.